Next is, we're going to start with more in-depth blockchain topics. We have Milen Radkov, who's going to talk about blockchain as a solution. Is Milen? Okay, Milen's getting wired. So I met him yesterday, and he's apparently one of the most talented blockchain developers in Sofia. He's working on a digital wallet together with Way DEX, decentralized exchange, and together with Eternity, who are one of our sponsors. So if you have any technical questions, he's in a good position to answer. Milen, you're good. So as soon as you get on stage, your microphone will be on and people will be able to hear you. And if we can get his presentation up. There you go.
Thanks. Can you hear me? Okay. So it seems I'll be the one that makes the transition between privacy and blockchain and mix things up. I'm Milen Radkov, as Nicola mentioned. I'm founder of Hack. Hack is a blockchain development and consulting agency where we are helping blockchain startups and enterprises to create their project with our abilities and our knowledge. I am also the organizer of Blockchain Developers Meetup in Sofia, and as the slide says, I'm a computer science graduate and very passionate about blockchain and privacy. So for those of you who doesn't know how blockchain works, it basically is a distributed network. It uses a technology that we already know, but on top of that, introduces the decentralized distributed ledger. And combined with all these technologies, it creates something unique. It creates a decentralized network which is not owned by a central authority, but lives in thousands and millions of devices, where everyone is free to share, to transact monetary or other data, transfer assets, transfer bonds, titles, contracts, without the need of contacting a central authority or bank or any other third party. So if Alice wants to send Bob a transaction of data or of value, the only thing she needs to do is to announce the transaction in the network, where every participant is able to verify its legitimacy, its correctness. And so if it's a valid transaction according to the network rules, it will be accepted, and everyone in the network will know of its existence in the history. Every transaction is stored in a block. Every transaction has this unique key fingerprint. Blockchain networks are using cryptography and hashing functions to verify every particular transaction and block. Everything that is stored in a block is referenced to the previous one and forming a chain of blocks, the so-called blockchain. So every participant in the network possesses a copy of the whole history of every transactions, of every block, the whole blockchain history, and is able to verify everything, the whole history, whether it's correct or not. This is something that provides us a nice and easy way to verify and agree on a single truth. What's the problem in current society? We face corruption. The first thing that I think about when I hear corruption is a policeman taking bribes in order for him to not write you a ticket for speeding or for whatever else. We elect public people to present us and to be working in order to provide us, to present us and to basically take decisions on our behalf, but some of them are getting stuff in their benefit. Some politicians take bribes for projects and anything else. This is something we want to fight with. We're facing censorship. When you think about internet, first thing you think is you picture a rebellious world where there are no rules, there are no rules to follow, there is no censorship, but it's not like this. There is censorship in different countries. There is no particular wall or something like this. Every participant in the network basically is behind some censorship. And in fact, if I remember correctly my numbers, 27% of internet users are facing some sort of censorship. And for the past year only, in 38 countries, there were arrests just for posting something on social media or just liking it. So censorship isn't the only way that people are attacking our freedom in the internet. We are also being targeted. Big corporations like Facebook, Google, and others, I won't mention other names, are monetizing our data, as few people before me also mentioned. I remember when Facebook launched MySpace, Twitter, they were asking you to basically add as much information as possible for you, date of birth, hometown, where you work, where you live, who are your friends. And basically, back then, people weren't realizing what they are offering for free and what this information could be used for. So now, social media companies are monetizing this. They are targeting us. They are tracking which sites we visit. They are tracking when we visit a particular site, how often we visit it, and they sell this information to third-party companies which are analyzing it and then presenting us with ads, making us buy stuff that we don't need, at least. The banking industry also suffers in this current system we're used to. Our current financial system is transacting with trillions of dollars every day and is basically connecting millions of people, but fees, also delays, and other problems of banking are not sufficient enough to provide us with a banking that we can use globally. Also, 45% of companies and other services that are providing us with financial instruments are suffering this particular problem with fees, delays. And this is also attacking our pockets and basically everything is buried on top of the regular user and the people that are using these services. We're facing fraud every single day. Every now and then we hear about data breaches, personal data being stolen from some server, from some company, and this is now happening daily. And part of this is because we are using the current centralization model where we are trusting a central authority or central server of some company somewhere, and it turns out at some point of time it's not secure enough, or for some other reason data is stolen, and then we face losses. So what solution blockchain provides? I want to say in advance that blockchain is not the ultimate solution for everything, but the instruments it offers are kind of solution for almost every problem I've just said about. The first and foremost blockchain property is the transparency. As I said, blockchain networks are using cryptography and hashing functions in order for them to provide the needed privacy level to not reveal certain private information. So it's very hard to link a public address to a particular person, but in the same way, we basically have transparency and we have the open data to see which address owns what or which address is transacting with which. Also, this provides us an easy and open way to trace everything back from its origin and verify everything. Also, blockchain offers us a new way of providing ownership of assets. We basically can own our own data and select with whom we want to share it with. We have an easy way to transact, to share, and to sell and buy digital assets. Also, blockchain gives us immutability, which is not 100% true for all cases. Every time we write something on the chain, we are told that it stays there forever. It's kind of true, but it's really expensive to try and modify this or to try to rewrite the history. So basically, we can trust blockchain networks that we have immutability. And decentralization, in terms of the term decentralization, basically tells us that we don't need a central authority. We need to have this mindset of sharing and transacting peer-to-peer, not trusting a central local server or central authority to be our own server, to own our own keys, to know what we are possessing and which we are transacting with. And it's happening now with Bitcoin and other networks. Thanks.
Thank you for that.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. So can we get a couple of questions for Milen? I have a question right there.
Yeah.
Please comment on the implementation, the Facebook's implementation on top of blockchain.
Libra is not blockchain.
Sorry?
Libra is not blockchain.
Yeah, but yeah, but okay.
Well,
so
I've read the white paper.
Yeah, I know. But could you comment on that and how they abuse the term and so on and so forth? So,
okay.
Because obviously everybody would think that Libra is built on blockchain, private blockchain, blah 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 blah, all of that. But because there's a lot of things that haven't been discussed widely so far, could you please comment on all the things that Libra is and isn't? Thank you.
Okay.
So can I just clarify? So Libra is this thing that was released recently by Facebook,
Yeah.
Or at least they've released a white paper. So it's a consortium led by Facebook, but yeah, because some of the people in the audience might not be aware when we talk about Libra what we're talking about. It's this thing released by Facebook, and I guess the question is, do you have some comments about implementation? What is it?
Yeah.
What is it not? We already heard it's not a blockchain, so maybe you can comment on that.
There is a testnet implementation that they announced already, But according to their white paper and to the testnet implementation, this thing shouldn't be called blockchain because it only stores transactions, and you basically have some time-stamping functions that you can try and call to verify the state up until a certain point of time. So there are no blocks, and technically there is no blockchain because this is a shared database between people running this consortium. It's not an open one also. I think they wanted around $10 million in order for you to run a node.
Euro, yeah.
Euro, okay. So, yeah, the idea of public blockchains is that everyone is able to join and to be a validator, to run a full node, to basically own the whole history. In Libra, this is not like this. Only certain people would be able to run the network. They announced it like it will be a permissioned one in the beginning, and then gradually it will be going to a permissionless model, but how far this will go, I cannot comment now. The only good thing about Libra as I see it is that more people will be aware of blockchain technology, micropayments, fintech, and basically the whole blockchain community will have more people because of the networks of these big companies like Facebook.
What's your take on anonymity versus pseudonymity? Because they're using pseudonymity, which actually is counter to one of the core blockchain things.
Yeah. The problem with Libra again is that they want to ship it with with Facebook's messengers, WhatsApp, Messenger, and other platforms like this. So basically, this will link your identity with your public key and basically your digital identity. So it's not anonymous. Yeah.
Yes, we have a question here at the front. Can we get a microphone to Simona? And I have a feeling this topic of Libra is going to keep coming up all day.
What do you think of the impact of Libra versus the other crypto?
Can you repeat that?
The impact of Libra or global coin, how it's called, this new coin, versus the other crypto.
Real crypto.
Real crypto.
So how does Libra or global coin compare to real crypto?
Well, there is no monetary statement anywhere in the white paper of Libra. So basically, we don't know how it will act. Like, they're stating it will be a stable coin, but every other blockchain has either finite value of units, similar to Bitcoin, where we have 21 million Bitcoins, or other networks that basically they are stating in their white paper that we will have these mint and burn mechanisms or anything else. In Libra, this is not mentioned, how it will be handled, what the generation of Libras the process would be. So, I don't know, I cannot compare it that in detail.
Sorry, the last question. Do you believe that Libra is a stable coin?
No.
Oh.
Well, thank you. So with that, let's give Milen a round of applause.